This is the Grandy and Andy post-game show for Monday, October 6th.
Correct, Fred.
Thanks, Brian. Okay.
I'm the fact checker
Now,
of the show.
we want to begin our Grandy and Andy
Did you
post-game
say fact
show.
checker?
No,
fact.
we would never say that
okay.
to your face.
Right.
We want to begin with an apology. Andy Parks would like to apologize to me for what he said on the show
Yeah.
about me being complicit in the credit crisis.
Right.
Because I did not
Right.
prosecute Barney Frank for
love-
being a homosexual when
Fred,
he was in Congress.
I would love
Gay
to-
bashing not being part of my federal portfolio.
At this point, I would like to apologize to those of you watching this. I don't believe I was hard enough on Fred. Okay, but let me say, as a member of the ethics panel,
I was.
at the time when Barney Frank found himself in quite a predicament because his young lover was running a male prostitution ring out of Barney Frank's Capitol Hill home.
That's right.
Fred stepped in to defend Barney Frank.
That's right, I did.
Who, by the way, at the time happened to be sleeping with and having a long affair.
You don't know if it was long or not.
It was long. It was a long affair
Andy Parks.
with Herb Moses.
Okay.
Now, Herb Moses also worked for Fannie Mae.
Yeah.
And HM, as we knew him, HM, Herb Moses, was an executive decision maker with Fannie Mae.
Do you know if he was an executive decision maker at the time of Barney Frank's totally unrelated case in this matter?
Yes, Fred, he was.
You do know that. Okay.
Yes, I do.
Andy Parks, the only person who does know that.
Mm-hmm.
To set the record straight,
Right.
Barney Franks was accused of a minor
Frank.
infraction.
You keep calling him Franks.
Yeah.
It's not like
He's a
Franks
hot
and
dog
Bean.
guy.
Well, because
Barney Frank.
I'm talking about him and his
Moses.
loved ones.
Oh, the Franks.
Barney's
Franks.
Franks. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Right.
Anyway, Barney Frank accused of a minor, and I want to stress minor infraction of house rules, where he was fixing parking tickets for a guy who turned out to be his gay lover. All right, who turned out to be a prostitution ring runner, who turned out to be Osama bin Laden. None of this is relevant to what
Right.
we're talking about.
Had Fred
Now,
nipped this in the bud, had he stepped in and nipped this in the bud, we wouldn't be dealing with the credit crisis we are currently dealing with. Therefore, I will affix all blame, 99.9999996% on Fred Grandy.
once again, allow me to reiterate the case at the time. Barney Frank's accused of a minor infraction of House rules.
Mm-hmm.
He was reprimanded by the House, the prosecution led by me and other members of
And
the
did you
Ethics
not
Committee.
receive a thank you note from Herb Moses?
I did, because I refused to elevate the sanction to censure, because the only thing he was accused of at the time was being a homosexual, which is not a violation of House rules. In other words, in some circles, we encourage it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well.
Usually in the third stall from the left
Oh.
with the picture of Larry Craig. Well, that is not relevant to this particular discussion.
My
Right.
editing skills only go so far.
Okay.
I weep for this country
Yeah.
and for this show.
I would just like to say gayness is not an offense punishable by censure in the House of Representatives.
Fred,
And in the Senate, there are rewards. What?
Fred, this had nothing to do with the gay aspect of this.
No.
It had everything to do with sleeping with the enemy.
But you didn't know that at the time. Herb Moses might have been involved with Barney Frank. He sent me...
He said he was involved for 8 years.
What if Herb Moses? Did we know at the time that he was running a prostitution?
That wasn't
ring?
Herb Moses.
That wasn't.
No,
There's another
Herb
guy.
was. It was
okay.
another guy.
You guys make it out to sound like
Oh
Herb
no,
Moses
no,
running
no,
a
no,
prostitution.
no. This was another boyfriend.
Yeah. You
Oh.
see, there is also a common misconception in the gay community that gay people are promiscuous. They're not. They just have a series of sequential, serious
Exactly.
relationships,
Exactly.
one right after the
Right.
other, and sometimes
Right.
contemporaneously.
You are the master
Do
of
I use
gayness.
any of this?
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
yeah. Okay, I think we've handled this very well.
I'm sure we've straightened this out.
Right. That's right. Thank you.
Goodbye, and I'm sorry. Not really.
Yay!